Well, welcome to Late Night Painting with It's a Gundam. Oh wait, I'm on my other channel, It's a Gunpla. Well, I haven't slept. I have insomnia. It's actually 6:28 in the morning. The dog is eating delicious chicken nuggets. Right now I'm painting the hell is that thing? I'm painting the hook hands. I don't even know what to call them right now. I'm too tired to think straight. Pretty straightforward. Using basic colors, gold and silver for pistons. Light weathering to give the illusion of damage. And the funny thing is, while painting this, I discovered a different painting technique that's used on model airplanes by a major hobby enthusiast, which I'll feature a little later because it's hard to describe. It's like drawing squiggly lines on black base primer before you then paint over the top color, but not so much so that you hide your squiggly lines. It's a really weird technique, but I have to say that it is actually quite marvelous for heavily weathered pieces. It will require more time, effort, and research to truly grasp the concept of it. But for the time being, I'm doing the regular sort of weathering for these pieces here since it's real small and no one's ever really going to see them. In all honesty, I think most of these little robotic bits and stuff are meant for something that's supposed to be 144 scale. But unfortunately, as I stated before, it's not like there are many alternatives for hangar bays. I believe these are originally made by Kotobukiya and then recasted and redistributed by Chinese because the Chinese market just rips off everything, honestly. And sadly, many of the parts that you would look for, Kotobukiya no longer really sells. And the ones that are still on the market and official are marked up at exorbitant prices, like $140 or something. So it really leaves you with absolutely no choice but the Chinese aftermarket knockoffs because that's just how it is. I guess it wasn't profitable for Kotobukiya after a while. You put out some stuff and then the Chinese rip it off and sell it even cheaper. I guess most people would take that road. So they're kind of like, screw it, we'll do other stuff. I will say that painting all these and working on this hangar bay with all these cheap parts, it is a little bit of a pill. In all honesty, the plastic is not that great. It requires a lot of prep work, a lot of energy. But if you're willing to put the time in, it can look very, very nice. Once again, please excuse me. It's early as hell, and I haven't slept yet. I really wish this damn kit came with more of these like hook hands. It'd have been so much nicer rather than only getting the option for maybe two. I guess it forces you to buy more than one hangar bay set, huh? And frankly, it's pretty pricey to get these in America. You're looking at $140. It fucking blows. The little figures are actually made by Bandai. I think they're called Gundam builder parts. Real cheap. You can get them off of Hobby Link Japan. I think New Type HQ should have them. I mean, they have everything. New Type HQ has more stuff than any other American vendor, in my opinion, when it comes to like painting and modifying Gunpla kits. Like the level of stuff they have. I know it sounds like a promo, which is weird, and I'd hate to say that it does, because this is just a genuine opinion. But so far, like New Type HQ is the only place that I can get everything I'm looking for outside of like ordering from Japan or Taiwan or something and then waiting literally a month to get it. I gotta say, it's a godsend in all honesty. I recently bought some stuff from a Taiwan seller that does resin kits, and then I realized after I got it, some of the crap I bought from them, New Type HQ had, and I had no idea. I think the one problem the site has is navigation. Like once they figure out how to get that site streamlined, dude, it's gonna be the fucking bee's knees. Because when it comes to looking for tools, they're the place to go. Like Gundam Planet sucks for tools, dude. It sucks. USA Gundam Store, when it comes to tools and stuff, they also really suck. Like outside of kits, man, I think that's what most American sites focus on, kits, not, stuff for customizing the kits heavily. And from what I understand, the guy who originally started New Type HQ was a builder enthusiast. So it figures it would take someone who's a heavy modder to bring something to the States that we so desperately needed for a long time. And not too many people are up on it. I guess that's why they even came to a guy like me. I'm literally like the boogeyman of YouTube, frankly. And I know I'm not really talking about what I'm doing here because it's pretty self-explanatory when you're watching. Like I'm using a Gundam, I think marker pen, but it's like a panel liner pen. Now the funny thing about these panel liner pens is they're actually quite useful. I thought I'd never need them because I was always going to do like the whole wash technique. But the wash technique, when you use the Tamiya stuff, is real hit or miss. The other option is to do a wash technique with oil paints. But doing a wash technique with oil paints can lead to a very weathered look, if you know what I'm saying. It's a bit more effort to clean up and work with. But if you're looking to give something that very weathered look, it's probably the way to go. So I switch between Tamiya wash panel crap and the Gundam liner pen, simply because the liner pen is pretty fine point and very, very pronounced, which I like a lot. Sometimes you want those pronounced lines, you know, to distinguish that parts are individual on a Gunpla. Why do I fucking hate Gunpla as a term? On a mobile suit. But, you know, that's just me personally. I say have multiple options to do things. My only gripe with it is sometimes it's real easy to fly off the line you're trying to draw in and just go all over the rest of the kit. It is insanely easy. So I recommend always clear coating first to get that to do your lining work. It's so much easier to clean off of a clear coat. If you do it with a flat coat, which I've done many times, it's a whole lot more work and effort. But I will say this, if you use Mr. Hobby Super Clear Flat 3, it's easier to clean than an Alcalad flat or a standard flat paint, I've found personally. Because honestly, it is a very smooth flat, the Mr. Hobby Super Clear 3. And I also feel it's the best flat coat. It's better than Alcalad. I hate Alcalad's flat coat, actually. I despise it. Maybe I haven't figured out how to spray it correctly, but Alcalad's flat, if you go too light, then it leaves that sort of haze look on your kit, which I fucking despise. I cursed again. Goodbye monetization. I mean, if you go too heavy with the Alcalad 2's flat coat, it'll look all right, but then it'll stay tacky for days. It'll have this tacky feel to it for days, if not months, dude. So it's like this weird balancing act, in my opinion. Whereas to the Mr. Hobby Super Clear Flat 3, it's $5 for a bottle, which sucks because that bottle ain't very big. $5 could get you a gigantic bottle of Alcalad 2's flat. So it's kind of like a weird duality. Do you want the flat coat that works really, really well and looks great, but you only have so much? Or do you want a whole abundance of flat that will suffice? It won't be too bad, but if you spray it wrong, it'll be tacky for a long time. But if you just put your kits in a glass display, it's not really going to be an issue. But if you handle your kits, I could see it being a huge issue because it will actually take your fingerprints. Not really noticeable, but it's there for people who are super OCD-like. Currently painting some more Gundam figures, 1/100 scale, in the Xeon colors. The thought process I had was I bought 2 packs of these figures. One set would be done up in Earth Federation colors, mixed with a little bit of AUG, and the other set would be totally Xeon, because I would switch between Xeon and Earth Federation mobile suits for review, right? Makes total sense that the background characters would fit that, I felt. Probably was a bad idea. I should have just done a uniform sort of color for the characters. You know, just straight up orange jumpsuits and called it a day. But I don't know. I tend to overdo things. Earlier, I was talking about that wear painting technique. Well, here it is on these parts here. You see that squiggly lining and how, like, even when I paint it over, it has like a very distressed paint look. Isn't it phenomenal? A lot of jet modelers do this technique. It's very advanced and actually requires a lot more out of you. But if you master it, like I've seen some realistic looking model jets that blew my mind with this paint technique. So I thought to myself, it's something I'd like to learn and apply to Gunpla. And I did it again. Well, I wanted to apply it to Gundam model kits because imagine being able to make a Gundam model kit look ultra realistic. Here's the difference between a normally painted grab thingy and one that was painted with that different paint technique for jets for the ultra distressed look. Same amount of paint, but look at how different they look. Just changing the style of paint made one look like it has been in service for years under major work conditions, while the other one does look distressed, but not as realistic, which is the key there. Sadly, I discovered this technique after I'd done most of the crap I was working on. So it was kind of like, well, I guess only doing these parts, whatever. And I guess it doesn't matter because the hangar bay is just meant to be a background display for my painted mobile suits, because I'm one of the few guys that actually paints model kits as much as I do on YouTube for Gunpla. But that's the trade-off. I'm the painting guy. Other people, wiggle around the kits. They twist the heads. We've got a swivel here, bend at the knee, full rotation at the hip, the arch, ab crunch. And I sit there and I think, like, why would that matter with a Gundam model kit, Why would that matter? What do you need an ab crunch for on the RX-78? If you're just going to put it on like a desk or in a shelf, it's never going to see any, action or something. It's not moving around really, But I guess the flexibility must be for people who really want to know and want to pose their kits quite often. From what I've seen, most people that collect Gunpla don't really mess with them much, It's like they're always just on a shelf getting dusty as hell. That's why I got a glass display. Really saves you on the dust. I mean, sure, it gets dusty, but not as dusty as I've seen some people's Gundam model kits look like. I don't know what, man. It looked like they're dropped in a trash bin or something. And on that note, I should probably get out of here because, frankly, the video just ended. The whole spiel. Rate, comment, and subscribe. So that way, YouTube learns to love me because it refuses to do so. It's a lot like the cute girl in high school. She doesn't know that I'm her Freddie Prinze Jr.